You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome to Save a Pooch on Pet Life Radio. I am your host, Beverly Isla. Thank you for tuning in. We have renowned animal communicator Sheila Trecartin here with us today to do something very special for a couple of rescue dogs and their now forever parents. She will relay what they, the rescue dogs that is, want to say. Now, Sheila has built a successful practice of animal communications over the years, but also practices several modalities in the holistic field of energy and healing. And when we get back from these messages, we'll have Sheila chat with us about her story before she connects with the two rescue dogs that she has never met. All she gets is a photo of the dog and no background information.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Tired of wasting money on giant boxes of litter that don't work and don't last? Switch to World's Best Cat Litter, the only litter with concentrated power. So even a small bag lasts one cat 30 days. Outstanding odor control, quick lumping, lightweight. It's even flushable. World's Best Cat Litter. Everything else is just litter. Find it near you at www.itsnotjustlitter.com. That's www.itsnotjustlitter.com.
It's designerpetsweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Large or small, we fit them all. designerpetsweaters.com.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Save a Pooch. We are talking with animal communicator Sheila Trecartin, where she has generously accepted connecting with two rescue dogs to relay information to their parents who she's also never met. And thank you so much for taking some time today, Sheila. I know you literally just finished a TV interview. It's great to finally have you on.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Now, before we get started with the readings, can you tell us how you got started with animal communications and why you wanted to include that to your portfolio of healing modalities?
Absolutely. I started as a child being able to communicate with the animals, and I had no idea that other people couldn't do this. I just did it naturally. We lived in rural Ontario, out in the middle of nowhere, in a log house, believe it or not, and there was no neighbors for quite some space. So I would go out into the yard, and I would go out into the woods around the house, and I would seek out animals, and I would talk to them just for companion's sake. Right. And then I started to realize I'd bring a snake home or something, and my mom would freak out, and she'd go, "No, don't bring the snake in." And I'd say, "But he says he needs whatever," and she would look at me kind of funny. So I started to realize, wait, not everybody thinks this is normal. And over the years, people started to look at me funny when I started to talk about the animals speaking to me, so I suppressed it. And then later on, it was reawakened through an interaction with a friend whose dog started talking to me while I was speaking to him on the phone. Now, animals communicate through telepathy, so it's all mind exchange, feelings, and pictures. And that started to happen. And when we did that scenario and I told him what was going on, he was very impressed and said, "You have to do this for other people." And so he started actually connecting me with other people and getting me to read all kinds of different animals, from horses to cows to rabbits to anything you can think of. And that's basically how I started back on that road.
Oh, wow. So it was kind of by accident that you found out.
Well, he kind of tapped into it for me and got me back started down that path. But in the meantime, I guess when I was about 18, I started studying the holistic field and studied many different modalities. That's why I have the ability to do the different things that I have. A lot of the stuff is self-taught or natural, and some of it I have learned over the years. So I do several different modalities, including hands-on healing, sound therapy, color therapy, crystal work, a holistic laser, and a slew
Wow, you
of
got the whole
other
gamut of things in your toolbox.
Yes. And so one of the things I do in addition to the animal communication is mediumship for people and pets. So I do communicate with animals who have crossed over as well.
Okay, that would reassure some of the pet owners.
Yeah,
Now you've had
yeah.
skeptics turn into believers from your work with their animals. Can you give us an example that stands out to you?
Oh, yeah, that happens all the time, every day. Because a lot of people, even though they're open to it, they just can't believe that you can actually do this. And it is a natural ability that everyone has. I
Yes.
believe that everybody can be taught to do the animal communication. But there was one that comes to mind is a lady whose animal, her dog, her little Pomeranian, was very sick. And she had spent close to $15,000 in vet bills trying to figure out what was wrong with the dog. And so she came to me, and her first basic words, other than "Hi, nice to meet you," was, I don't believe in any of this, just so you know. And
This
you're
was
my
the
last
dog?
resort." No, the lady told
the
me
lady.
that,
Okay,
the owner.
Gotcha.
She said, "I don't believe in any of this. You're just my last resort. I can't figure out what's going on with my dog, so I'm hoping that you can figure it out. And if this works, I will be your number one fan." So here we are 5 years later, and I still see her all the time, and she is one of my best friends now. So
Awesome.
and, of course, in the scenario, when I was speaking with the dog, it was just priceless. The dog was quite aware that he wanted her to come see me so she can get assistance as well. And it turned out the only reason why he was ill was because he was mirroring her issues. And as soon as we started working on her, he started to improve, and he's doing fabulous now. He's totally healthy, and they're both very happy, which is a great positive ending.
Happy ending. That's fascinating. All right. Thank you so much for telling us your story, and I'm looking forward to our two rescue dogs who are patiently waiting. So first we have rescue dog Sophie and her mom Lucy on the line. So you can take the floor, and then so basically you'll give 10 minutes or so for each, and I'll just jump on.
Yeah, if you can just give me a cue as to when we're up, because when I start communicating with the animals, then I kind of get lost into another world and I forget time.
Okay.
Perfect. Hi, Lucy. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. So your dog's name is Sophie, and what I'm going to basically do is just connect with Sophie and tell you everything that she has to say. And what I'll get you to do is just maybe provide feedback a little bit as we go so that anybody who's listening can understand whether this is something that I'm actually tapping into or whether it makes sense to you or not, and it will give us all an understanding of if we're really connecting with Sophie. That sound okay?
Absolutely. Sounds perfect.
Not too much information, though. Just confirmation is great, just because
Excellent.
we want to confirm whatever she has to say. So Sophie's a real sweetheart. She is very loving and very attentive, but she's very selective in who she goes to. And she says that, she doesn't always want to be around a lot of people. She certainly feels a lot of love from you. And she says that she is very pleased to be with you. She says she's like, she's really sweet. She's got a really kind heart. And,
she is, absolutely.
She's basically telling me she's tired often. She says she gets drained because she's easily affected by the emotions of others and other people's moods. So she's just what we call a natural healer, and she's just like a sponge. She soaks up everybody's energy. So even though you might come in and you might appear to be happy to her, if you had a bad day, she will try and take up all the negativity from you, and then it drains her, so she gets tired. So she says she fluctuates in her physical presence from being like really spunky to be like totally kind of dead to the world. And then when you see that in her, you know that she's basically being affected by somebody else's energies, and it's draining her. So there are some things that we can do to assist her in not taking that on so strongly, but that's something we can talk about for another time because I want to get more of her information to you.
Okay,
She says she is light sensitive, that light hurts her eyes. And so that's something that I would probably seek out veterinarian assistance to figure out what's going on there. She also talks about aching in the spine and in the neck. She says that she was kept confined in her past. She feels like she was in a small space and couldn't move around easily for long periods of time. So
that is so true.
Yeah, are you aware of that? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. She just had spinal surgery, so that is so true.
Oh, yeah. So there is,
absolutely.
Issues still going on there where she's obviously healing. Poor girl.
Yeah.
She says she has stored trauma from her past. It feels like her past was quite tumultuous, and she feels like she was kind of handed around Like she feels like she's been many spots, but she says she's really happy now, and she lives like a great life now with you, and she's very pleased and thankful for you.
Oh, I'm so glad. That's awesome.
She says that you kind of overspoil her, if there's such a thing, and that sometimes that's a little bit overwhelming to her, because overwhelming in the space where she's just like so emotional about it, like so grateful. I get a sense of, for us, it would be like wanting to cry because she's just so elated that she's with you.
Oh, I'm so glad.
She talks about liking to go out on a boat, or there's some kind of speak about going out on a boat, and she says she wants to do that. So if you've had something in the works, or if you've been thinking about that, she's interested in doing that.
Interesting. Okay.
She says she gets gas in her tummy from chicken and beef, and she says fish is the best food for her.
Okay.
She shows gray-toned furniture, and that looks like a couch. And she talks about furniture around her feeling new or like new. And she talks about also issues in the ears and a little bit of soreness in the throat. There seems like there's a dryness in the system.
Okay.
And she also talks about having issues in her front right paw, and this is past injury related, and she says this resurfaces from time to time. So if you see her favoring that, or you see something come up, it's a past injury, and she's telling you not to worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed she does lick her paw, the right one especially, more often. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit of nerve damage, and that's what she's showing me that feels like nerve damage, because it's like a numbness that's happening there. She says that you whisper in her ear often, and you tell her all kinds of stuff, and she loves it. And she says you also give her lots of kisses and lots of loves, and she's thanking you for that.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
And she cautions you, she tells you have to be careful. There's problems in your wrists, and she wants you to be mindful of that. There's something going on in the wrists, especially the left wrist seems to have something going on where you're not being able to grab things. So if you don't have this happening now, then be very aware of it going forward. It's almost, to me, it feels like a carpal tunnel, although I'm not a doctor of it and I can't diagnose, but there is something going on there. Could be, I'm gonna say it's more carpal tunnel kind of related, and that it looks like you're going to need medical attention with that going forward.
Okay.
She says that she's a very brave girl, and she says she really tries hard to stand up for herself, and she tries really hard to move through her fears and her worries. It's kind of a statement, I guess.
Yeah.
And she talks about toys being very special to her, and her liking to kind of hoard the toys or watch over them.
And she does. She's got a corner with her toys, and that's hers. She loves to do that.
And do you have any questions for her?
Basically, my concern is because of her past. I just wanted to know that she was happy and that things were going well for her now. I do spoil her, I know that, but considering what she's been through in the past, I wanted to make her happy now and give her the home that she deserves.
And you're absolutely doing that, because that's one of the things that she said. She's moved so much to emotion and gratitude when she thinks about what you're providing for her. She recognizes that she's spoiled, which is so cute.
That's adorable. Now, she still has this fear of men, and we're trying to get past that. There are a lot of men in her life, my partner and my sons, but she still has this fear of men. It takes her a long time to get comfortable with them, and I'm not sure exactly why.
Yeah, that is connected from her past and some neglect and abuse that she's had in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, she feels like she was treated quite poorly. Again, she just talks about being confined, and I don't feel like she was physically abused, but there's a lot of loud speaking, there's a lot of control happening, and basically kind of keeping her in one space and trying to get her to abide by whatever they wanted. So it looks like when they were dealing with her, it was more kind of forceful, and she doesn't respond really well to that. She kind of breaks down. So it has to be very light and gentle and please, hey, Sophie, let's do this. So Sophie, can you sit, please? And, a nice, light voice, because if you're demanding and condescending, then that's when I could feel the fear come up in her, because she was forced to do a lot of things. And I see that she was also kept in a small space where she was kind of left to be in her own feces and urine for long periods of time. So it's very degrading for her, and that certainly doesn't happen now. But, it's hard for us to kind of hear those kind of things. So that's where the neglect is that comes in when she was talking about. But that was also orchestrated by a man. So this is where her fears are coming. She just doesn't feel as safe. It feels like every safe spot that she's had in her life, and she feels like there's a lady with light brown hair, not you, but a different lady, light brown hair with a little red tinge to it.
Okay.
And that lady was also kind of a savior for her as well, someone who made her feel good.
That's good to know.
What you can do to assist her is you can pick up some Mimolis, which is a flower essence made by Bach. You can get that at any local health food store.
Right.
And you can take 2 or 3 drops and just rub it on her chest and behind her ears. And I would do that twice a day, and any time she seems to appear to be fearful of a man, because it is for fear, and it will help to diminish that fear in her.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Lucy. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Sheila.
That was an amazing. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, I hope that helps.
Thanks.
Okay, so we have to go on break right now, and we'll continue with our topic right after these messages from our sponsors.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Hi, Jill. I see you and Bella are enjoying this lovely day as well.
It's a perfect day for a walk. Isn't that right, Bella?
And what a colorful ID tag you have, Bella. It certainly puts my Rusty's boring engraved tag to shame.
Isn't it great? It's a dog tag art tag.
Dog tag art?
Yeah, dog tag art makes the world's coolest pet ID tags. Pick from hundreds of cute designs or upload your photos or artwork to create a unique tag of your own. They even give you 4 lines of text on the back of the tag for important contact information.
I love it! But do they hold up? We have to replace Rusty's metal tags so often because the information wears away.
Dog tag art tags are some of the highest quality pet tags out there. They're made with super durable stainless steel. Your information is always legible, and the tags are guaranteed for life.
Well, I'm sold. Where can I get my dog tag art tag for Rusty?
DogTagArt.com.
Sounds great! We can't wait to get online and get a tag of our own.
DogTagArt.com. We keep best friends together. Use the coupon code RADIO for a 25% discount off any tag.
Active for Pets is a new wellness platform and app that helps pet parents save time and money on their vet bills. Stop paying for unnecessary vet treatments. Consult with the vet online. Get unlimited access to your pet's entire health history from any computer or smartphone with the Active for Pets app. Vaccinations, medications, test results, and more. Active for Pets gives you access to a team of expert vets for non-emergency care. Make an appointment before, during, or after office hours. Skip the waiting room and get a secure online vet consult on your schedule. Taking care of your pets is as easy as it gets with Active for Pets. Ready to try Active for Pets? Listeners get 40% off a 1-year membership. To get this great offer, use promo code PETLIFE on the sign-up page of active4pets.com. That's ACTIV, the number 4, PETS.com. Or call 888-512-2848.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Save a Pooch. We are talking with Sheila Trecartin, a specialist in animal communications, and she's doing a special for us today by giving readings for 2 rescue dogs. We just finished with Sophie, and thank you so much for that connection, Lucy. I hope you feel a little better. And right now we have our second rescue, Buddy, and his mom, Cheryl. Cheryl, hi.
Hi. Yes, hello.
Hi,
All right.
Cheryl. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to read Buddy. He is
wonderful.
He's got a great personality. He feels very comical, and he feels quite light. And when I'm speaking with him, he's just like raring to go. So I'm great.
That's him.
I'll just relay some of his messages to you, and hopefully you don't mind giving some feedback as well.
No, I'd be happy to.
So the first thing that he says, I said, I was speaking to him on your behalf, and he was like, why? She already knows me. And basically I'm describing, well, she doesn't know everything that's in your mind. And he said, wow, this is great. I have a lot of things to say. So then he just says, I love my life. I am so excited. I love my life. He says every day he gets to do what he loves and spend time outside. And he says that he likes to be in open areas where he can see everything, and he loves lots of people to pay attention to him. He likes people to watch him do things. It's not, don't pet me, watch what I'm doing and pay attention to what I'm doing. I want you to see me. So it's like he's performing. You know, it's like, Mom, watch me. And it's like, everybody look at me. He likes to be the center of attention when he's doing stuff. He talks about having some skin issues, and he says the skin issues are from stress and a reaction to something in the system. So he's talking about being a little bit itchy in different parts of the body. And one of the things that I would suggest is making like a baking soda paste and with water and rubbing that on the body and leaving it sit for about 20 minutes. So you'll have to just distract him so he's not looking at it, and then washing it off. Or getting some kind of shampoo that will assist in helping with irritation in the skin. He says he has a dry mouth often, and he needs lots of water to drink because his mouth is always open. He just says he runs around all the time, his mouth is open, and he's excited, and he's going, and it's like he feels like he's a doer in life. And so he just says, I need to drink a lot because I exercise, I move a lot. He tells me that he really loves you a lot. He's very excited to be with you, but he feels like he was meant to be with you. He's just saying it's not an accident, and he feels that you'll feel that everything that transpired to get you together was kind of uncanny to him. And he feels
that's true. It was to me, too. It was life-changing.
Yeah, so he's just like, it was totally, totally meant to be, and he doesn't want you to... he wants to take the opportunity to make sure that you really get that it was all orchestrated and that he is definitely meant to be with you, and he does not want to go anywhere else or be with anyone else. He does show an older lady connected to you that he likes to be around, and he feels he's helping her as well. Kind of looks like a woman that's maybe a mother figure to you. He just thinks it's important to acknowledge her, and so he's sending her love and says that he likes having...
Could that be a spirit? I mean, would it have to be a living person?
Not necessarily, but he's acting and showing me a woman that I would have thought was living, or at least it's someone he had total access to before. She seems to like purple. He just shows wanting to be at her feet, and her feet being cold, and circulation problems. You don't know who that is?
No.
So this woman is gray-haired, curly gray hair. She hunches over. She's fairly old. Now, do keep in mind that animals can speak about relatives and friends or neighbors. You know, just open your mind to try and figure out who he means. And so if he has maybe only met her once. In this case, he's saying he has been exposed to her, but just as a side note, animals don't need to be in contact with someone to know that they exist because, of course, they see other people through other people's minds. However, this particular lady, he's saying he has been in contact with. So I'll leave that with you just out of time's sake, but he tells me there's 3 people in the house. 3 people live in the house. Or not necessarily 3 people, he's just saying there are 3 in the house. So whether he's counting himself or not, I'm not sure, but he asked
There are 3 dogs. 3 dogs in my house.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you for giving me that acknowledgement, because he just said there's 3 in the house, so I couldn't tell, basically, what he was meant by that.
Exactly. No, he's one of 3 dogs.
And he says he definitely belongs to you, that you're like his soulmate. He does ask for popcorn. He does talk about stomach or digestive issues. And
yes, he has them.
Yeah, he's saying what happens is he's eating and the food doesn't digest properly. So it's almost like kind of like a leaky gut syndrome that it leaks off into the bloodstream and isn't digested. So not sure if you're already treating him for that, but
no.
Maybe something to think about is maybe offering a digestive enzyme or researching that, or speaking to your vet about that.
Okay.
And that will help to break down the food so that it digests more properly.
Okay, that makes sense, yes. But he does throw up once in a while.
He does talk about he loves to scamper, he says. He calls it scampering. It's a type of play where he frolics around, and he says, I like interactive play the most. So he's like, chase me, follow me, he seems like he's very well-rounded, even though, he's not really talking about his past. He lives more present in the moment. So he's like, I'm just all about what's happening here and now. And he does keep asking if you will get him bubbles, kids' bubbles to play with.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah, and that's a very odd request. I've never had a dog ask for that before. In more than 10 years of communicating with dogs, I've never had an animal say that. I want to play with bubbles, so it'd be interesting to let me know what happens when he does.
Oh, yes. I'm definitely getting bubbles for the weekend then, definitely.
That'll be interesting.
He does love to do this ready, set, go running thing.
Yeah, that frolicking
kind of scampering.
thing that he says. Yeah. What he calls scampering it. So if you want to use that term for him, he'll understand what you mean.
I will, yes. You're right, it is kind of a scampering.
He says he does not like to listen, but he totally understands the commands. He just sometimes prefers not to listen to them. He just wants you to realize he is actually smart and that he's choosing not to listen when he doesn't listen.
That sounds about right, yes.
He does say he's a bit fearful of sudden movements and shadows, and he says he tries to hide everything. He tries to hide when he's not feeling well. He hides when he's fearful. He learned that from his past to basically mask what's going on so people don't, or other animals don't see him as weak.
Oh, okay. Okay, that explains it. He has a big fear of lightning, thunder, I mean.
Right.
And will want to run and hide.
Right. Okay. So the mimulus I talked about before to Lucy with Sophie would also be good for him because mimulus is for fear, and that is obviously assists in helping with fear of noises or thunder. And the thunder coats they've been really successful to assist in animals because it's the vibrational frequency that they are reacting to.
He was so freaked out. I bought him one, and he was too freaked out to wear it. He just would not. It just freaked him out so bad that I thought it's worse to put it on him than to not.
Yeah, it's important to try to put the coat on during fun and playtime when nothing's going on, and it doesn't associate it with the thunderstorm because you can quickly associate. So you might want to try it again more in a treat-oriented, fun atmosphere.
Okay.
He does talk about a connection in his past to a light-haired young girl. I don't know if you would be aware of that or not because I'm not sure what you know about his past. But he does talk about sadness around this and having to be separated from this young girl, and it was hard on him. He does think about her sometimes, and he does feel bad for her. It feels like it was a parental decision to get rid of him, and this young girl was heavily affected by that, and there's something to do with finances or lack thereof that has contributed to him being rehomed or put somewhere else.
Okay.
So I don't know. The other thing he talks about is he shows a man around. He talks about this man being passed away. You did actually ask about a woman before, but now he's talking about a man, and he talks about the man wearing a blue ball cap, and he had died suddenly from an impact. And he talks about the man having shoulder issues or issues on the left-hand side of the body.
Okay.
He feels like this man is connected to you, and he didn't know the man. So it's just someone in spirit that's around you.
Oh, okay.
And basically he just says he really likes the fact that you've given him an identity. He has you seem to be very accepting and allowing. So you just basically allow him to be who he needs to be, and then he's now come morphed into an identity that he feels that he can relate to for himself and hasn't had to be what someone else has wanted him to be, which is kind of what happened to him in the past.
That is so true. That's so very true. Yes. letting him be who he wants to be.
Yeah, so
That's
I would
totally
compliment
true.
you on that.
Wow,
yes,
that's...
he had a hard life, so.
Oh, good for you, Cheryl, for taking him in. Now, before we wrap up, do you have any questions for Buddy?
Yes, I know that he lost his Bashan sister a year ago, January, and I just wanted to know if he sees her, if she's around us.
What's her name then?
Her name was Belle. She was Belle. She was a Bashan. She was his BFF, and she passed away. So.
Yes, he does talk about her being very close by. There is a lot of heartache over missing her, but he understands the concept and he's totally clear on, what occurred. She feels like she was sick for quite some time. She feels like she just was debilitated at the end. It almost feels like her body was shutting down. And he just talks about stress being on the organs and her being depleted, and it was very hard or difficult for him to watch her. It feels like she, unfortunately, suffered quite some degree, but it feels like he understands the concept of having to. She feels like she was assisted to cross, and it feels like he needs you to understand that he understands that was the best thing for her, and he's actually thanking you because it was more difficult for him to watch her suffer.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Good.
Something of hers that looks like a piece of fabric that you still have, and he scents it. Like there is smell on it still, and it's something that he goes to sometimes, or you show him that connects him, and he says it's okay, he understands.
Oh, wonderful. Good. That's nice to hear.
Yay!
So wonderful.
I hope that helps, Cheryl. I really do.
Very much. It was wonderful.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Thank you.
Good.
He's really so
spunky,
Sheila. And he does have remembrance of the past, but he just doesn't hold on to it. He was totally present in the moment. So whatever's going on in that moment is what he's dealing with. And he says he doesn't he doesn't have a poor me feeling about himself. He's like, no, everything is great, and where I am is where I put my attention focus. So that's great for all of us to do, actually, or follow his suit, because he doesn't harbor anything from his past, which helps him.
It's wonderful, and that describes him to a T. Exactly. In the moment, happy boy. Wonderful. Thank you, Sheila.
Great.
Thank you, Beverly.
You're welcome. And now if Lucy's still on and you want to know more about Sheila's work, you can visit SheilaTrecartin.com. Sheila, you might want to confirm my spelling, but it's SheilaTrecartin as in Nancy.com. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. And they can also reach me at petpsychic.ca. It takes it to the same website, but petpsychic.ca is easier to remember than my name sometimes.
Oh, thank you so much, Sheila. We are out of time. So for Sophie and Buddy, you'll have to try to talk to your moms and barking. Sorry. Lisa and Cheryl, thank you so much for coming on. And Sheila, for your help. Thank you so much for your work. And our show producer, Mark Winter, for making this show possible. So if you have any questions, comments, or ideas for a show, please email me at beverly@petliferadio.com. So until next time, let's spread some animal compassion.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.